Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are going to talk about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This game, well, it's in my opinion the best modern Metroidvania that there is, personally. So, let's talk about it. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. This is Koji Igarashi's project that he worked on after his separation from Konami and Konami keeping the Castlevania franchise. This guy's behind the old Castlevania games. You could really feel Castlevania Symphony of the Night here in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is a good feeling because it's a game I grew up loving. You know, I didn't own it for a good amount of my childhood, but I did have friends who did. I played at their houses, and it was always a fun game. Always very fun. I did have Castlevania Araya of Sorrow. This game kind of also gives me vibes similar to that as well. That was on the Game Boy Advance. So, how did this turn out then? We're talking about, like, you know, a successor game from, you know, a separated developer who wanted to do his own thing that is in similar or same vein as the games that he himself was a part of with the large company. We've seen this before with Mighty Number 9. I can't remember the dude's name, but he dropped the ball major on that one. So, and I think that hurt a lot of people's opinions of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night fairly early. And if I recall correctly, Ego was even like harassed about the release date. More or less, the community forced him to put it out early, which sucks. Thankfully, the game turned out fine as it came out, but it's like there's still things that were unfinished, and you could tell that he wanted to finish them up and polish it a little bit. So this game actually recently sold 1 million copies, and they've got like a nice little roadmap laid out for free updates and stuff that everyone who owns the game is going to get access to. And it looks good. It looks like there's going to be some multiplayer stuff, some single player stuff. I'm curious how they're going to do multiplayer in this game. I'm very curious to see that, and I would like to play through it with a friend, actually. I think that this could be a very good game for multiplayer, for co-op. And so there's the co-op stuff, the versus stuff, there's a classic 80s style mode. There's gonna be a new character you can play as, in a boss revenge mode where apparently you get to play as a boss and fight the heroes. And that, well, I don't know about you, but that's exciting to me. It's like, how many games let you play as the boss, you know? And the game does have overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. It's like 95% positive out of 15,000 reviews. It's $40 for the full game. Can't really complain about that. And then there's also gonna be a lot of, you know, bundle options and stuff where you can maybe pick things up a little bit cheaper. I think that the game is worth $40. I really do. I think that the game is worth $60, honestly. The game has replayability. All of my footage is actually New Game Plus. So I'd already completed the game, got 100% castle exploration, and so on and so forth. That's why the castle's like map is explored, but not explored. You know what I mean? Like if you pay attention throughout the gameplay, you'll see that if I go to an area that's not fully explored, like you'll see the map on the map, but it'll be like kind of like a lighter shade if I haven't actually explored it yet on this particular run. But I have 100% castle exploration before coming into this, so I see the whole map. I just have to get past the whole map. So this is hard mode. Everything has more health, does more damage, and so on and so forth. Quite frankly, it doesn't really seem to matter. I'm quite well geared and quite well set up. I have most of the shards. The only ones you lose when you're going into New Game Plus are the ones that are essentially key to progress the story, because I don't want you just bypassing stuff. You The ones that you get from certain bosses that allow you to progress forward are obviously going to have to be re-earned so that they can keep, you know, the sequence of the game moving. You know, they want to minimize sequence rate. And but I like the best weapon. I have some of the best and most useful shards. Shards being, if that's not obvious, being your spells. Your spells and your abilities and stuff. My little familiar is thanks to a shard, and yeah, so there is a lot of exploration to do. And while this doesn't have a quote-unquote inverted castle, it does have, you know, multiple endings, which is quite frankly good. They symphonied the night in it. To those of you who remember Symphony of the Night, spoilers, but your last boss is Richter Belmont, when you're playing as Adrian. And if you have the right equipment, you can actually see an orb over his head. And you can attack this orb, and if you attack this orb, you can defeat that instead. You will actually free Richter Belmont from the spell, as opposed to just killing him. And by breaking the spell, that opens a portal to the inverted castle. You get to do it all over again, except upside down. And then you get to fight Dracula. So here, it's a similar situation where your friend is the last boss, so to speak, and he's not a particularly challenging boss. But there's something, you don't necessarily need certain equipment per se. But if you're patient, you know, if you do the right things, if you're patient enough to figure out how to do the right steps and everything, then you will unlock something else that you can attack. You do need specific equipment, that's right. You do need a specific weapon to do it, but once you figure it out, you'll be able to open up another area, which will allow you to start pursuing the true final boss. So, very, very cool how that all worked out. The voice acting overall is very good. It feels a lot better than the old Castlevania's voice acting does. The gameplay is very, very smooth. It feels very polished. You know, different weapons behave differently. They all make sense with each other. You know, the magic and the shards, they all feel good for the most part. 10 out of 10, you can summon a chair. Now, the chair might seem immediately useless, but sitting in a chair that you summon does in fact charge your mana faster. The glasses accessory that I have though makes it so that nothing costs mana anyway, so it's kind of bullshit. But like if you're that's end game shit. You know, if you're on your first playthrough, you don't have those glasses, you're gonna want to manage your mana effectively. You know, and the story, it's a good story. It's a good enough story. It passes. Boss fights are great. A lot of these bosses are incredibly well designed. A lot of them are very challenging, and hell, a lot of them feel very rewarding to defeat. And you know, there's a good sense of accomplishment with it, which is something I really enjoy in video games. It's also something that Dark Souls has more or less mastered, is harnessing that sense of accomplishment, you know, and utilizing that to set off all your dopamine triggers in your brain when you do something cool. So most armor doesn't seem to change the appearance of your outfit itself, but your hats do change appearance, and your accessories do physically appear on your character. And on top of that, your scarves are visually different depending on what's equipped as well. So there's a little bit of fashion to be had. So that's pretty cool. Obviously the weapons all look different, you know. And you can visit a stylist to change your hairstyle and your hair color and your color of your outfits and everything else. They're actually updating that as part of their roadmap with more colors and the ability to pick from a chroma wheel as opposed to preset colors as it currently stands, which is cool. The pace of the game feels good. You know, it's not too fast, not too slow, and it just has everything that makes a really good, really solid Metroidvania. You know, there's also an 8-bit dungeon that you can find. It's kind of a little secret, and it's fairly challenging the first time you do it, but it's not unreasonably challenging. And There's also a boss revenge mode, or not boss revenge mode, a boss rush mode where you just fight X amount of bosses all straight in a row, and with minimal to no healing in between. And it's a lot of stuff to do. It's a well put together game, very well thought out. You can tell that you put this game together with the fans in mind. You know, this game has been put together with us in mind, the people who want to play it. And so I think that's part of why it has done so well. And between that and the fact that it's actually been in the hands of a developer who actually seems to give a shit. So, very good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed my gameplay of me just kind of wandering around the castle. It's been a little while since I played, and I had forgotten what it exactly it is that I was trying to do next. But I'm probably around the mid-game point in my New Game Plus run on this game. So, but there isn't going to be any real spoilers or anything. Mostly just wandering around fighting stuff with my bullshit laser beams. And I think really, I think that's it. We might do another video after the end of that roadmap and talk about all the new content. But for now, I think that's all that needs to be said. So thank you guys for watching. Those of you who have tuned in, thank you for sticking around as long as you have. If you have, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a dislike if you think I've earned it. Grease that bell button a little bit. And until next time, I will fucking see you later.